All right, what's going on, guys? Welcome back to the channel. We're back, we're out here. Got the black car. We're not working on that today. We got the Drift V outside, and today what I'm gonna be doing is installing my Sparco Circuit 2 QRT halo seat in the front driver's side, because that's the only one I have so far. And I'm gonna show you guys how I install it with the Pure Performance Texas bracket and Invictus side mounts, all that stuff. Show you what you got to do to get it done, and we'll get some good seating position going so that this seat will be installed in the car for the cage, because then they're going to use the seating position to base the harness bar placement in the car so that it's at the right angle and all that jazz. So looking here on the interior of the car, I removed the stock seat. Passenger one's been out for a while. So on the V's, they have these hooks here that slip in, and then they have a bolt right here that goes in sideways. They have a bolt right there on the factory brackets. So it's basically 2 bolts to get this seat out. So you take the stock seat out and you got to wrestle that big thing through here. It's pretty heavy in comparison to the Sparco. And then right here, as you can see, I have the Pure Performance seat bracket for this car. Now this seat bracket is super nice. I bought the kit. The other one's been on that side for a while now. Bought the kit. It has a middle point here for your harness, your 5th or 6th point, and then, well, 5th point or 6th point, and then you have outside mounting hole there, outside mounting hole here. And I think for club loose, I don't think I can bolt it to the seat bracket, the harness at least. So I might end up having to drill holes into the body of the car like I did on the 3000, but that's besides the point. It all depends on where you're using the car, really. So then what I'm gonna do is put my Sparco seat on here and figure out where the seating position is with in relation to my steering wheel, where I feel comfortable, and from there we are going to drill some holes and get the side mount brackets mounted to this thing, and then from there we will go ahead and get the Sparco mounted up in the car. So right here we have our brand new Sparco Circuit 2 QRT halo seat. So it's a containment seat, which is required at a lot of tracks now for cage drivers. And it's a beautiful seat. I had to go buy some hardware, some M8 by 1.25 hardware for the side bolts. And then Sparco sells brackets separately, and they sell them, they're like 65 bucks a pair, but for like $38 for all 4, both seats. These Invictus side rails from Amazon, pretty nice, thick seat bracket. Honestly, they're thicker than what I have in the 3000, I think, but nice piece, and they line up perfectly with the Sparcos. So we're going to be installing those with the M8 bolts, and then once those are installed, I will set this thing in the car, take a seat in it, and see where it puts me. All right, a few hours later, well, like an hour later, it took me a bit to get the seating position right. So I basically just figured out seating position, marked it with a Sharpie, and then from there I pulled the brackets off the seat, marked my holes, drilled my holes. So based off those Sharpie marks, I am going to tighten these guys in the car, and then I will bring the seat in, drop it down, and tighten it from the side. Now, this thing, I never realized how low I'm gonna be sitting. At the highest setting for these guys, I'm still sitting pretty low in this thing. I feel like I'm sitting in Chris's BMW. The 3000, I sit, everything in the 3000 is a lot lower, roof line and all. So like on my lowest bracket position, I still feel like I'm sitting a little too high in the 3000. This thing, I put it to the lowest setting just because I thought it would be similar, and I legitimately couldn't even see over the dash. Like, it was like this. So at least now it's like this looking down, but I have a really good angle with my legs, hand on the shifter where the handbrake will be, and steering wheel angle with like your arms and all that. So let me get this thing tightened down here, and then I'll drop the seat in, and I'll show you guys what it looks like when it's all together. Here it is. I gotta get a new little thing for that. It's annoying, but here we are. Sparco Circuit 2. I'm a fan. I am definitely a fan. This thing looks sick. So we got that. We got our Grip Royal leather wheel with the energy quick release right here. Once the dash is all back together, I have that new center console piece laying back there, little junkyard find. But once we have this leather wheel, this nice Sparco seat, I have my carpet. I'm gonna dye them black for the front halves. I'm gonna get the carpets in once the cage is done. Once that is all in, this is gonna be a really nice looking drift car interior. I'm a big advocate for keeping some interior, no matter what, really. I can't stand when people delete their dashes or whatever, so I'm trying to keep as much as I can in that sense. I'm hoping that I don't have to trim too much off the door panels when I do the cage. I'm gonna see how low they can get that bar, the crossbar, which, being that there's only a gap here under the seat, it can't really go much higher than this, which would be good in the grand scheme. So we'll see where they land that door bar, but this thing looks sick. So now, as you can see, like how I mentioned before, now that my seat is in, you know where the harnesses go through. So now you'll know where to put that harness bar, which I'd imagine they're gonna land the main hoop up top here and then have it be back here. So the harness bar, I think you want a 20-degree, it's like 0 to 20 down, I believe. So it'll probably land somewhere around here, if I had to guess. So I'll ask them to try and be on the conservative side on that, just in case I do decide to raise my seat up a little bit. That way I'll still be within a safe spec for that. So we're looking good. I'm really happy. I've always wanted a seat like this, and now that I finally have one, it's pretty cool. This thing is certainly coming together. So this one was on the quicker side, but I do want to show you guys what I have been working on, because I don't think I mentioned it yet. Look at that. I've been wrapping this thing. I've been working on wrapping it at night. So far I have almost the whole driver's side done. I have the 2 doors, and then I have the A pillar into the C pillar into the rear quarter panel all done. And then I have the trunk lid done, except for that center section in there, my funny little vanity plate. I have a seam here, which you guys can see, and I also wrapped the 3rd brake light on the backside. I'm gonna be adding the wing that I have on the black car. It's like the CTS-V, it's like the sport model wing that covers this whole area. So I was like, all right, make my life easier, I'll do a seam here from the top to the bottom, and then I'll just wrap the 3rd brake light, and then the wing sits along it, so you won't see all this. And I think it's just cleaner without that red 3rd brake light on there. And the one on this car was kind of crusty looking. It still worked, but it's a little crusty looking. So I also did just the tops of the taillights, just I don't know, look neat. And when I was doing the trunk lid, like I had an overlap right here, so I was like, I'll just trace it out and leave it there. But otherwise, it's coming out pretty good. The color is gloss midnight crimson bloom or something like that. But as you can see, it's got some sweet purple in it. And it almost looks black, like in the shadows, it looks black. But then when the sun hits it, you see that like crimson and just like the dark purple glitter. We'll see if the camera can pick that up, but yeah, I'm really stoked with the way this is turning out so far. Otherwise, I'm going to pull that handbrake mount plate out. I gotta flip it. I gotta figure out where I have to trim for my seat to basically clear the seat, because this one has a little extra meat on it for that reason, I guess, depending on where you want it. I mean, like if I didn't have a passenger seat and I wanted to keep it like that, I could, and have the handbrake on the other side of the shifter, but I like having my handbrakes in between the steering wheel and the shifter, because it's just a little bit closer for me to grab to. We will be offering those as well on the Sparco site, all that stuff. Like I said, guys, I'm still working on it, but handbrake mount plates will be available on the Sparco site, ones that fit. This one I bought from another place, and I had to do a lot of modifying to the holes to get everything to line up. So we will be offering one that fits without needing to drill things out. So that's coming soon. Otherwise, look at that. That view is never gonna get old to me. It's just gonna get even better when I have a second seat in and I have some carpet and a cage, and we're just out here looking nice. All right, guys, so we're gonna wrap this video up. I'm gonna show you guys something here and explain what exactly is going on. So a lot of you guys know that I've been working on a dual caliper bracket on the side to mount and I had the idea to do like a budget friendly option of mounting a base model caliper along with your V caliper, and your base model caliper will be the handbrake caliper. So everything was going well. I finally ordered like version 3 of the bracket, got it all bolted up, finally got it to line up properly on the rotor, and that's kind of what I was focusing the most on. And I finally got it, you know, light at the end of the tunnel, got it bolted up. Well, if you guys can't already see what the issue here is, it's up against the barrel of the wheel, just barely. No, that's not good. It's not ideal. You know, you don't want your caliper to be sitting that closely to the barrel of the wheel, let alone touching it. But I'm saying, like, even if you were to shave the caliper down, I'll have to see where it's hitting. I spun it a couple times. It didn't like it, but I spun it a couple times. And I'll have to see where it's touching to see if it's a spot that can be shaved down, but I doubt it. But you ultimately don't want your caliper to be that close to your wheel either way. So while I know a lot of you guys were looking forward to me completing this kit quickly or soon, I regret to inform you that I'm not giving up, but I'm going back to the drawing board a bit here, and I think I am going to have to abandon the base model caliper option. It sucks, but at the end of the day, I just don't think it's going to work, even if you like shave the caliper down or whatever you have to do. So what that kind of brings me to would be mimicking some of the previous kits that people have made that go into a Brembo caliper. This one's a little different than what is currently on the car, but the difference is we shave this down, and so it's one big smooth swoop right there, and we also remove some material from here. But we got the SC for stance coat in the middle there, and I ended up coating these, spraying these with Steal It, and they came out really good. And I mean, they've been on and off the car a bunch of times, and the finish does look pretty good. I would imagine when you guys get these, you know, you would be installing them one time and one time only. So what I'm going to end up doing is try and utilize this. We're going to obviously make some mount changes, and but we're going to utilize the similar mounts where it mounts to the knuckle. I think we're going to drop this hub bolt one here and just utilize these 2 lowers. I don't want to get too far into it because obviously things change, but that's going to be the route I'm going to look into tonight. Again, it may change again, it may not, but that is going to be the route I'm going to look into, and I will keep you guys posted once I have some solid information. I'm a little disappointed. It does kind of suck. I mean, it sucks a lot. I've been working for like months on this caliper bracket and finally got it done, and it just wasn't it. It wasn't it. So, you know, it is what it is. We'll move forward from here. Our window is narrowing down, but at the end of the day, these calipers and stuff like that, I will be able to finish, you know, after the car's caged and whatnot. Car goes to get caged next week, and this weekend I need to pull the dash out of the car, do the bushings in the front, and we'll get to all that. You guys will see. So thank you guys for watching. I hope you enjoyed this video. Stoked to see the Sparco seat in. Disappointed to see my dual caliper bracket setup is not working, but we'll get there. You know, it's all part of the game of building a unique car. We'll get it done. And thank you guys. Drop me a like, hit the subscribe button if you haven't already, and I'll see you guys in the next one.